Hello, my friends. Welcome to Jennifer Beckstrand's 10-Minute Book Club. Hi, friends. I just had to sit out here on my front porch and show you my beautiful, beautiful petunias. As you know, I've changed the name from Jen Spencer's 10-Minute Book Club to Jennifer Beckstrand's 10-Minute Book Club, but we'll have lots of really fun, sweet authors and also inspirational authors. I'm really excited for this new change, and I hope you are too. Tonight, I'm really excited because I'm going to be interviewing Carlene Havel, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about her right now. You are going to have so much fun tonight. I certainly did. We're going to be talking to 79-year-old Carlene Havel, and she is also going to tell us about her 95-year-old mother who helps her plot and research books. It is so amazing, and this is just a delightful interview. Remember, if you ask a question or leave a comment in the comment section below, you'll automatically be entered to win Carlene's book, Old Maid Bride, and it sounds like such a fun romance. So now I'm really excited to introduce Carlene Houston. Carlene, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited about this opportunity.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Texas, sort of all over Texas, here and there. Then I married a military man. We lived everywhere, including a couple places overseas, Turkey and the Philippines.
Oh, wow.
Then when we came home, we're sort of firmly entrenched now in San Antonio and have been for some years. So I during all the travels, I didn't finish college before we married. So then I would take courses here and there, and not the ones you should take, but something like Homer and the Tragic Vision. So I finally realized that if I kind of got my act together, I could get a degree. So after attending about 8 schools, I actually did graduate.
Good job.
And I worked for the government for many years in what was then called personnel. It's now human resources. Retired, worked for Lockheed Martin for about 10 years as a software tester. And then I started writing.
Wow, after you retired.
About the time I retired, I didn't write until I was 60 years old. I'm always at the end of the line, always a late bloomer. So
I think that's fabulous, though. What made you decide to start writing?
Well, my parents were both very artistic. My mother has written lots of books, and they always encouraged me, and I would say, nope, I've got nothing I want to share with the world. Just let me alone. But at the age of 60, again, being a late bloomer, I became a Christian, and a lot of my attitudes changed, and I decided I do have something I want to write about now. So I did major in English in college, and I always did technical writing in my work life. So I had done some writing, but not fiction. Well, some of it may have been, but it wasn't supposed to be. So it took a while, but I did just dive in. I just sat down and started writing.
Good for
which is
you.
what all the experts tell you not to do. And I've learned some hard lessons in the most difficult way, but that it's sort of a mixture.
I think so. I started writing after my fourth daughter was born. I couldn't sleep, so I'd lay awake at night and just make up stories in my head. And so one day I thought, oh, this is a pretty good story. I ought to write it down. So that's how I started too. And I just think really the best way to learn how to write is to just write. And you do make a lot of mistakes, right? But it's okay. Well, so tell us about this book.
Well, the book is called Old Maid Bride. Old Maid Bride is a collaborative effort. You see that I have a co-author. Frequently I do that because I'm not really in love with doing historical research, but I love historical novels. So I have a co-author, Billie Houston, who also happens to be my mother.
Oh, wow.
And she conceived the plot and most of the characters. And then I write the story and we just put it together. So Old Maid Bride is about a woman in the early 20th century. She's an old maid school teacher with not exactly the image that you think of for romance, but she lived a sheltered life. Her brother took care of her. And in that day and age in Texas, a single woman could own property. A married woman did not. Anyone who married, her property belonged then to her husband. So
yeah.
that gives you some idea of the constraints that women lived under in that day and age. So it's a story about this woman having an arranged marriage with somewhat of a scoundrel, but a respectable scoundrel rancher who has political aspirations. Her brother thinks this man Miles would be a really good match for her to take care of her because, of course, being a woman, she can't fend for herself. And Isabel agrees, but neither one of them really knows what they're getting into. She thinks she's going to just go her own way and do what she wants to do. And he thinks she's going to be a compliant little wife who furthers his political career. So they have quite a few adventures after their arranged marriage, getting to know each other, miscommunicating with each other, and encountering some very unusual characters along the way.
Oh, I love that. That sounds like such a darling plot. Oh my goodness. And I'm sure they come to a meeting of the minds at the end.
I love happy endings. All of my main characters have an happy ending. The villains sometimes come to no good end, but the good guys always get their happily ever after, or at least happy for now. I don't like. Once in a while I kill off a minor character. I just did that in one of my books. And my husband walks by and he says, "Why are you crying?" Well, this character has become real to me, and now he's dying, and oh, it's so sad. But we want to. I think people want to feel something when they read. I do. I don't want to just read a book the way I would read a magazine article or the back of the ketchup label. I want to know. I want to feel what that person feels and vicariously enjoy their adventures without having to live through them.
Oh, I
That's my goal as
totally
a writer.
agree.
I want people to get lost in that book, not be able to say, "Oh, I'll read the rest of it tomorrow."
Fast. I just want to ask you a couple of fun questions. What's your favorite romantic novel? Do you have one?
My favorite romantic novel? Oh gosh, there are so many. Actually, I guess I would say Gone with the Wind, even though it doesn't have a happy ending. It was just I love the history and the whole development of that really unique Scarlett O'Hara character. I mean, who doesn't know in the whole world? If you say Scarlett O'Hara, they know who you're talking about, even though she's just that imaginary person on the page. So I read that for the first time in the 8th grade.
Wow.
Unbeknownst to my parents.
Well, Scarlett O'Hara is one of those characters who is so irredeemable, and then she gets redeemed. And those are the best kind of characters because you relate so much to them, and there's so much depth to them. So, what about movies? Do you have a romantic movie that you love?
There are lots of candidates for that too, but probably for me is Sleepless in Seattle. I just love the way that it's not they meet and fall in love. They don't meet and they fall in love. And they finally get together. But there's just everything about that sort of intrigues me. The whole concept and the little boy telling, Meg Ryan that his dad needs her. And it's just, it's very lovely.
That is a very lovely movie. I agree. I love that one. Okay, do you have something on Netflix or another streaming service that you like to binge watch?
But I did binge watch The Chosen. I
Oh,
didn't I heard about it and I didn't do anything until someone said you've just got to watch this. So I watched one episode and then I just sat down and watched everything all the way through.
That is one, yes, we have also binged watched that at our house, and absolutely fabulous. One thing I love about that, and setting the faith element aside, I love how the writers have taken source material that has been analyzed and read and discussed for years, thousands of years, right? And they've taken their own kind of spin on it. And I just love that they don't take anything for granted. The writing is so good. The characters are so believable and fresh. And I feel like the writing in that show is so wonderful. Well, Carlene, we are almost done. I have one more question.
Okay.
You're stuck on a desert island. Would you rather have a lifetime supply of chocolate or toilet paper?
I get asked that often.
I bet.
Well, you know, we are obsessed with toilet paper after the pandemic when it was such an everyday item, but I'm going to go with the chocolate. I won't go into great detail, but having lived in a lot of places outside the United States, I will tell you, you can improvise the toilet paper. With the chocolate, nothing replaces that.
Okay, I love that. You speak from experience. This is great.
Yes.
Well, Carlene, thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Readers, please go check out Old Maid Bride. It sounds like a delightful, wonderful book, and you know it will have a happy ending.